That doesn't sound like a goodbye suicide message, does it? He told Emil that he was at the end of this rope. And think back to the last thing that the defendant told Ariel before he tried to kill her. He told Ariel, "I'm sick of this shit." That's corroborated that he's at the end of his rope. Same idea. What didn't he tell What didn't the defendant tell Emil? Nothing about self-defense. Nothing about Ariel attacking him. Nothing about what he testified to you. Is that reasonable? Does that make sense? 10:42 a.m., the defendant FaceTime video calls Emil. He confesses. And Judith Mast, ends up texting the defendant. 11:33. She texts the defendant, "Is Ari okay?" She asks the defendant about her daughter. And the defendant says nothing. He doesn't respond. But what he does do shows his intent. What he does do, he calls Emil again, and he asks him, "Did you tell anybody?" That shows the guilty conscience of the defendant. That shows that the defendant was not acting in self-defense. That shows the defendant was thinking about what his actions would do to himself. He was thinking about himself. He wasn't thinking about Ariel. He wasn't thinking about her condition. It was only himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's one verdict and only one verdict that does these things. There's one verdict that holds the defendant accountable for what he intended to do, for what he tried to do to Ariel. There's one verdict that's supported by the physical evidence, the digital evidence, the corroborated testimony of witnesses, and the defendant's own confession. There's only one verdict that's corroborated that makes sense with all of that. There's only one verdict that the evidence and justice demands. And that verdict is that you find the defendant guilty as charged of attempted murder in the second degree.